Greetings everyone, this is Danny from HarrTravel.com and I'm currently sailing on board the beautiful Norwegian Encore. We're on the inaugural voyage and she is looking incredible. We're going to go through all of the public spaces on board from top to bottom, so follow me as we tour the Norwegian Encore. So now we are on deck 17, which is just above the pool. Pool deck's on deck 16, just below me. And I wanted to point out the first thing that I see, which is the Ocean Loops water slide. So this is a really extreme water slide. You start all the way at the top there, and essentially the bottom drops out. You go through, you loop twice over the ocean. So you're actually all the way out over the side of the ship. Whoop. So if heights are something you don't want to do, you probably want to avoid that, but it's a lot of fun. I've done it quite a few times. I haven't done it yet on this ship, but really excited. It seems like it's evolved a little bit. It's a little bit longer and bigger than the previous ones that they had. So this is the first water slide. And over here, you are going to find the second water slide. This is the Aqua Racer water slide. You can see it's gotten bigger too, and they actually moved it forward on this ship compared to the Joy and the Bliss, and that's because the racetrack takes up a lot more space. So basically, this is going to be an inner tube water slide. You can do 2 at a time. It's a lot of fun. Line starts right here, goes up to the top. You've got a shower here for both the water slides so that you can shower before or after you go on. So now that we're a little bit closer, you can see the Ocean Loop water slide a little bit better. So right there, that clear plastic, this is a cool vantage point because basically you can see them right when they drop down. The line is going to be right over here. And one thing before we go explore a little bit more, I wanted to point out that this is the jogging track. So if you are a jogger, you may want to stay inside and do it on the treadmill because it's kind of a bit of an obstacle course. Some of the other cruise lines have them in different places where they're a little bit further away from everybody else, but here, this is the main jogging area, and not the easiest way to do it unless you want to go early in the morning or later in the evening. So we're going to head upstairs now. I'm incredibly excited to see this racetrack. It is the biggest ever built, and they extended it quite a bit compared to the previous ones. All right, so this is actually where you're going to exit the cars when you finish racing, but I just wanted to stop here because this is a really good position to kind of explain how it all works. So you have the cars inside there. You're going to sign up ahead of time. You do it on the kiosk. I'll show you guys that later on in the video. But basically, once you have your reservation, you're going to start on the far side there. This is where you're going to be in the cars to begin with. They're going to give you like a black hood, and then you're going to put a helmet on top of that and get all ready to go. And when you come out, you're going to go really, really slow. So they've got it governed down really slow so that everybody can get on the track and get started. It is electric. They actually have the sounds that kind of make it sound like there's an engine, but there's not. It is they're all electric. And then once you get going, you just basically race. And so the thing that everybody needs to know is that you're competing for the best lap time. The best single lap time is really what everybody's trying to get. And they've got the screens all throughout. They've got the viewing point, which we're going to head up to. But the whole idea is competition. Competition's a lot of fun, and I love that they have that with the race cars. And so I love that they have made this track way, way bigger. So basically what they've done is they've extended it 13 feet off either side of the ship. So they've had to add a ton of infrastructure and kind of adjusted a few things. They moved the water slide forward. Also now behind me is going to be the laser tag, but we'll get there in just a second. But this viewing platform is really awesome because it makes the whole experience a lot more interactive. Of course, it's fun for those who are driving, but now they have these special boosters that as they're driving by, basically you hit the laser right on the top of it and it gives that car a boost. So if you're playing with a friend or something, trying to get the best lap time, if you can boost them and not other people, or you can see where we're going with it. But basically it just adds a ton of fun to the experience for those who are outside of it in addition to those who are on. So largest, fastest racetrack at sea. Nobody's got anything else like it. This is super cool. So now we're going to head back over to towards the sign. You got the Encore Speedway here, and we're going to head back down underneath and over to the laser tag. All right, so just aft of the racetrack is going to be the laser tag arena. So this is all built around the quest for Atlantis. Let me show you what we're talking about here. So you can tell that you can't bring in any drinks or things like that, or you might want to leave your stuff back in the room when you're coming to play. But show you, it's a little bit of a different experience than they've ever had on Norwegian before. So these are the guns. It's kind of like a virtual reality, augmented reality experience that they've done. So you see these signs all over. So one, you're shooting and playing against another team. So there's points. The points are all up here. Everybody can see them, so that's really cool. It makes it super interactive. And then with the guns, essentially, this is what is being hit when you're shooting. But they have the screen on here, so you can see the camera, what's in front of you. And also, when you shoot one of these symbols of Atlantis, it becomes kind of an augmented reality experience where it comes with you. So basically, you'll see it on the screen. It'll blow up. So as you head out into the arena here, you go. You can see this is the very aft of the ship. We're in the very back. So these are the ones I'm talking about. So basically it comes up on the screen and I see a There we go. Here comes Poseidon. There we go. Yeah. Poseidon. Anyway, I'm on a boat. All right, that gets me excited. Very cool. All right, so as we go through here, you can see this is a really huge, cool one. You see the snake right here. All right, there we go. It's such a cool space. You can see another one on the wall. Those are the things you shoot. And then, of course, there's other passengers here, which trying to shoot as well. So all right, there we go. Oh, that's cool. All right. Okay, well, now that we've done the tour, it gets time to play. Let's go. Come on. Here we go. I get easily distracted. That's pretty cool. There we go. Oh, shoot. Okay, so one thing you need to know about this game is you have to stop when you get shot and you have to go back to base and reload the gun. So it's kind of a cool thing. You don't have to sit out. There you go. So you just have to hit the button. There we go. Reload it, and then you just go back out and play. So awesome. So I had an absolute blast playing laser tag. It kind of brings me right back to being 19, 20 years old. Yeah, anyway. 90s were a lot of fun there, weren't they? But anyways, let's keep going forward right now. One thing that I wanted to point out, because I can see it now, that's really cool is, Norwegian has not been shy about evolving within a class. A lot of times when you get a class of 4 or 5 ships, you see that they're essentially the same, but they've improved every single time. So right here, this is an example of that. They've taken this space that was just, nothing above it before. They've redone the Speedway, added this massive superstructure that goes off the ship 13 feet. And so they've, essentially, increased it by almost, 50%. It's way better because it's bigger, you have longer stretches. But basically that experience started with the Joy. It's evolved in a positive way each time, and that to me is the story of the Encore. It's really the evolution of the Breakaway Plus classes to a spot where I think Norwegian's really perfected them. All right, so now I'm heading forward. I got the massive water slide in front of me, and behind me is the racetrack. Here you can really see the extra structure that they added to the ship, which makes it a lot bigger. So kudos to Norwegian for constantly improving that. I was just on the Joy, and I'm actually going on the Joy again in a couple days, so it's quite a bit different than that, but it's much more similar to the Bliss. So if you've been on the Bliss, you'll feel right at home on the Encore. But of course, there's quite a few things that they've done in addition, little details that they've managed to take care of or improve, and I really love it. So behind me, you have the waterside complex, and just over to the side, you've got the pool deck down below me. So basically the entire deck now is covered with sun chairs. We are in the tropics and the Caribbean. When the ship's in Alaska or even in the Northeast, it might be a little bit different, but ton of deck space, and they've got chairs every single spot that there's space on this entire ship. I've seen them in a few more spaces that they weren't on the Bliss. So over to the side here, on both sides of the ship, they've got 2 hot tubs. Got the nice rainforest shower head there, so you can get rinse off before or after. But it's nice to have a couple other hot tubs that are kind of in a separate space away. So now I'm back on the jogging track. What I see in front of me now is the screen. I absolutely love the giant screen that Norwegian has up there. We were watching football the other day, NFL football, and then also in the down in the atrium, and on that, if you're hashtag Norwegian Encore while you're traveling, they put the pictures up there. So it's always fun to be sitting by the pool and seeing your pictures up there of you, the family, kids, your experience. But basically with the ship, as the technology's evolved, they've done a much better job of being able to have that interactive experience through the app and through things like this as well, that really improves the ability to deliver on the cruise experience. All right, so the Vibe Beach Club is right in front of me, and I just wanted to point out that on this ship, they've maximized every open space that I've seen with chairs. So down here on deck 18, there's some extra chairs here. This is open to everybody. So you've got some in the sun, some in the shade, so just something you want to keep in mind. And then even up top here, you've got some more chairs as well up on deck 19. So now I'm going into the entrance of the Vibe Beach Club. One thing that's very different about this ship than on the Bliss and the Joy and all of the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships is that they got rid of the Spice H2O adults only area. So that was a complimentary area. This is a paid area, which they did have before, but basically this is a lot bigger, and you no longer have a free adults only area. So something you want to think about that could actually make the Haven a little bit more valuable in some ways, but just something you want to consider going forward. So right here, you've got a hot tub right when you come in, and you've got a ton of seating. There's an absolute ton of seating here. For the most part, it's all these similar loungers with umbrellas. You also have some couch seating over here as well. Just for point of reference, this is where the Haven courtyard is right there. And then the Haven sun deck is directly in front of us, which is 16 and up for reference. Okay, so as we head back, you'll see the shower. Of course, before you get in and out of the hot tub, use the shower. and of course the bar, the heart and soul of any beach club. In fact, I think that this is the perfect time in the tour to have a drink. So I don't know about you, but I like pina coladas. So we're gonna head up. I did want to point out this space is fully accessible bathroom. And then also you have the lift here that can take up, but let's go up to the top deck. So I really love the extra space on the Deck 20 top deck sun deck area. So right here you have these misters, great place to cool down, especially when it starts to get warm in the Caribbean. And as we're heading around, you see there's a ton of loungers out here. And then back here, you've got a little private space for loungers, a couple of them, and then just a ton more loungers. So if you love the sun, this is the perfect spot, especially if you're not traveling with kiddos or your kiddos are in the club and you have the ability to kind of just be adults, this is the place to do it. So right here you see these oversized loungers that they have, like large day beds. And look at that, there you go. So perfect place for the pina colada as far as I'm concerned. Oh, good night. Oh wait, sorry, tour, let's do it. All right, so down below me is the full pool deck. You really get the idea of how the water slides go off the side there. It's a really perfect view. So let's continue to head this way. As I wrap around the front, space is exactly the same on the other side. This is your jam. There's an upgrade that I wanted to talk to you about quickly. So everybody on the ship can get the beverage package. Essentially, what that means is even if you're an inside cabin, you can take the one perk and get a complimentary beverage package. You're gonna get all the beer, wine, spirits up to $15, a list that are from a glass, if you like that. But you don't get bottled water, you don't get the fresh juice, you don't get the specialty coffee. So for me, I really like those. You also have a second option, which is the Premium Plus beverage package. Basically, you pay about $30 a day. It opens up almost the entire menu on board. So if you like those premium champagnes and things like that, you can make up for it in one glass essentially. But then you can have all your specialty coffees. If you're in the Haven, that's a good perk to have as well. You get the specialty coffees, the bottled water, or in this case, boxed now. They've gotten rid of all the bottles on board. And then you're also gonna get those fresh squeezed juices. So let's head on back down. If this space looks like something that you're gonna love, it's $99 per day, or the much better value is you pay about $209 for the entire week and you get unlimited access to this. So that could be a really good deal, especially if you want that space away from the kids. I've got a 3.5-year-old, and so it's kind of one of those mixed things where I'm not always sure how much time I'm gonna have here, but this next cruise we have coming up, she's going with her cousins, and so they love going in the kids club and having a great time. So my wife and I can actually utilize something like this. So my next cruise, you will find me in Vibe, or in the Haven, hopefully. So any which way. On deck 19, there is a way to get here that's fully accessible as well. So the elevator is right here. But one little quick secret is if you go all the way to the very front of the ship here, you get that same view that you have in Vibe. But of course you don't have to pay for it, but really spectacular view looking down. And one thing that they did is they added the chairs to the front here. So this is actually a really secret tucked away spot that is perfect to stand and to people watch. You know, maybe if you got kiddos that are over playing in the water park, but basically just this amazing overview of the entire place. See the hot tubs on the side, the pools down below, and really, yeah, wow, it's a spectacular ship. All right, so let's head on inside and take the elevator down a floor. All right, so right here is the kids' aqua park. If the kids are 12 or older, they can play with it as they want. Make sure that you always have an adult that knows where the kids are. There's always lifeguards on duty, but that's something that's really important. If they're 12 and under, you're gonna have to have the parent with the kiddos. So a lot of fun stuff here. You got the water dump, you've got the crawl space to go up, the slide coming down, so a lot of fun. You've got showers throughout the pool deck. This deck is really the heart and soul of the Norwegian outdoor experience. It's where they're gonna have the big deck parties, and you can see they've got the lights all the way around, the LED lights, the big speakers. When this deck gets going, it's a lot of fun. But during the day, you've got the kids area, you've got the pool here, the main pool here. There's another one in the front as well. And then you've got bars at either end of the pool deck. So Waves is just over here, and then also up front as well. One thing that I love is they have the massive screen up in front of me. Right now, it's showing images that people are posting on social media. So if you hashtag Norwegian Encore while you're cruising, they're gonna post them up there. So it's fun to see yours. One other thing is they've got life jackets for all the kiddos. So if there's any issues with swimming, don't even think about it. Put the life jacket on and make sure that you utilize them. Once again, there is a lifeguard on duty during the hours that the pool is open, but please make sure that you know where the kiddos are at all times. All right, so now I am on the other side of the deck. Here's the bandstand area. Over here is going to be the towel exchange. So basically when you're ready for a fresh towel, that's where you go, swap it out, really nice. All right, so I am now at the surf bar. I would love to get a pina colada with Captain Morgan, please.
Absolutely, sir.
Awesome. So today's beverage consumption throughout the tour is a tribute to my dad. So this is the way my dad lives his cruise life. He starts whenever he starts on the pool deck. He loves the sun, somewhere early with a pina colada or more than one. And then as the day progresses, you get to Captain Morgan and Coke, and then maybe later on in the evening, little Captain Morgan. So, well, there's my Captain Morgan. Anyway, there we go. So once again, Captain Morgan for Coach. Here we go. All right, so Pina Colada 101, always stir it up a little bit, get the alcohol down. Anyway, there we go. All right, so we're heading back towards the Garden Cafe now. This is kind of an overflow area, so if you want to dine outside, this is on both sides of the ship. And over here, you're gonna have a beverage station. So this is pretty much always open. You've got lemonade, iced tea, strawberry kiwi water, tropical mango flavored. This is a Starbucks machine. It's not open right this moment, but that is something you actually have to pay extra for. And then you got your complimentary drip coffee, tea, and hot water, lemon, things along those lines. So now I'm gonna head a little further back. Before we do though, I wanted to point out that this ship was built in Papenburg, Germany. So all the Breakaway and the Breakaway Plus ships were built there. This is the end of the era. So with the next class of ships, which is aptly named Project Leonardo, they're moving the construction down to Italy. So it's going to be a totally different vibe, I would guess, on the ship, and it's going to be a totally different concept when they get it going. All right, so like most mega cruise ships, there is one really large buffet. This is the one on board the Norwegian Encore. It's called the Garden Cafe, and it's a really big space. So something I love that they've added on is these hand washing stations right here on a cruise ship. Just like on any time, it's really, really important, but especially on a cruise, to make sure that you wash your hands and do that constantly so that you can avoid any of the things that your fellow cruisers are bringing on board. So there we go. All right, so let's head into the Garden Cafe. Immediately to my left, you start with seating, and then to my right, you're gonna have more of the beverage station. It's the same exact as the one we had outside, with the exception of in here, they're gonna have milk on there so that you can have cereal, or if you need it or want it throughout the day. You've got your salad bar here. So you've got salad and croutons and cut cucumbers and carrots and things along those lines. I'm gonna turn to my right now, and you've got the Americana section. So you've got your burger bar. Right now they have basically like a barbecue burger as the burger of the day, so they'll move those in and out, but basically you always have burgers and hot dogs here. And then continue back, one of the most important stations that you're gonna have is the pizza station, of course. You also have international flavor just next to it as well. But over here you're gonna have some sausages and mac and cheese and a little bit more Americana. I wanted to point out this bar specifically for a couple reasons. One, they have fresh squeezed orange juice, which I absolutely love, and they also have espresso machine that's fantastic, and then great baristas as well. If you have the Beverage Plus package, both would be included here. I love to start the day with fresh orange juice and a coffee, so this could be a perfect option for you if that's something you like. If you don't have the Beverage Plus package, it is something you're gonna pay for because it's not included in the beverage package. After I start my day with the coffee, the next most important spot on board any cruise ship is the soft serve ice cream machine. I'm gonna avoid this one for now. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it for now, and I'm gonna show you where some secret ones are in the very back. So all the way from here, I say the back, but it's really the front of the ship. So this is unique, it's on the front part of the ship, and all the way to the front are some incredible views. But let me show you along the way. You've got your fruit station, which is where I should spend most of my time. I love the dessert station here. And then of course you have ice cream. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
I am awesome. Can I get some butter pecan? She knows. There you go. What can you say? I don't know if I'm proud of that. Well, yeah, no, I'm very proud of that. There we go. It's my grandpa's all-time favorite, so can't go wrong with butter pecan. The ice cream's really good. Once again, soft serve and ice cream, and this is something that's complimentary. There are some upsell dessert options throughout the ship, but everything in here for the most part is included. Thank you so much. Happiness, pure happiness. Okay, so I said most things are complimentary. I did want to point out the beverage machine here from Starbucks, you would pay extra for that. And then also for the wine station here, that's something you're gonna use your card and you would pay extra as well. So we're gonna continue on through the Garden Cafe, and I'll show you a little bit more of what it's all about. So on both sides of other, it's gonna be identical, but you've got these hot favorites. So you've got beans and rice here, sauerkraut, sausages, all the different kind of hot foods. Meatloaf was really good, had some earlier. Love the sweet potato fries. Okay. Over on the other side, you have more dessert stations because that is one thing that you can never have too much of on a cruise ship is a dessert station. Pineapple upside down cake was especially good today. You've got some different salad options here. And then one of the all-time favorites for me for sure is the pasta station. So as we continue on, they've got soups. Black bean soup was really good today. They mix and match it every single day on board. And then on the other side, kind of a clone of what you had over there. We've got your fruit station, and then the station that I spend way too much time at. So go in. He knows my order too. Oh well, deal with it. But I wanted to stop and point this out because this is one of my favorite parts of any Norwegian cruise is the Indian food. The chefs are Indian, they know what they're doing, and they put out an incredible spread every single day. It's kind of expanded with each ship that they've had, and so now every day on board, lunch and dinner, have a wide array of Indian options. The chicken masala today was extremely good, but I really, really love the roti. They make the chutneys themselves from hand, but everything here has always been good, and it never disappoints. On our last cruise on the Joy, I think our family ate in the buffet most nights, and we always went here because, you know, love Indian food. So as we move to the very front of the ship, which is the farthest point away from the entry of the Garden Cafe, I wanted to point out some tips and tricks. So right now, there's nobody here. It's a port day and it's lunch for sure, but there's absolutely nobody here, and a lot of people just stop where they are. Right when they come in, they find seats and then they go get food and come back. You always want to go to the very back of the ship. The best view in the entire ship of all the dining, I think personally, is this, looking at the front of the Garden Cafe. You've got a massive mix of seats. So back here, you've got a lot of tables for 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then along the way, you're gonna have, or along the side, you're gonna have benches and just an eclectic mix of seating. So, but for me, on any cruise ship, anytime, especially on boarding day, if you do come to the buffet, you're gonna wanna go all the way to the end, find some nice seats there, and it's a little bit more comfortable. One final kind of like little super secret thing about this part is that you have bathrooms here. So this is great because a lot of times in the big buffet, you have to go all the way to the front of the buffet, go out of it to find a bathroom. But that's why I think this is the optimal place to sit on board. And here it is, my all-time favorite, my love, my sweet. Oh, love me some soft serve, but well, I'll get back to you in just a minute here. All right, so anyway, soft serve ice cream back, or once again, all the way to the front of the ship. You've got it on both sides. So there's 4 of them, and you got 2 ice cream stations. So just for those of you keeping track at home, that is 6 places to get ice cream in this very spot, which is probably why I spend a lot of my life here. Any which way. Okay, so the last station that I wanted to point out here is that you have this this Asian station. It's kind of like up to the chef. So right now they have it set up as a noodle soup station where you can customize it. But on my previous cruises, they always have 3 or 4 dishes. How's it going? Excellent. So they usually have 3 or 4 dishes like this, like Szechuan eggplant. They try to be very authentic with this. And then they usually have a pho or a noodle bar throughout. So I really like that because you can customize it as you like, which is one of the things that's not always the best with buffets, is that, you know, it's kind of a one size fits all. So there's several places here where you can have things made to order based on your preference. Right, so the American Diner is the first specialty restaurant that we're going to see on this tour. Basically, it's a la carte pricing. You can use your specialty dining package in here if you like, but the whole concept behind it is it's a 50s style diner. The only other 2 ships that they have anything remotely like this on board the fleet is the Pride of America, which has had it since the very beginning, and then for the Norwegian Joy, when they built it for the Chinese market, they added this in the place of Margaritaville, and personally, I'm really glad they did because I really love it. On our last cruise, our family dined in here just about every day. You can see the space is a ton of fun, especially for the kiddos. My daughter likes to dine in a car. They give them these little cardboard cars to play with, and at the end of the cruise, my daughter had several of them lined up. But the food is really, really good. I'll be honest, the first time I came here, I had no real expectations, and I was completely blown away. The chicken sandwich is probably my favorite chicken sandwich that I've had on any cruise anywhere in the world. You see they've got the open restaurant here. The sliders are fantastic as well, the lobster sliders and the pulled pork sliders, and it's just a really fun atmosphere. So this is the bar area, and they're gonna have milkshakes as well. So that's the other thing, you come here, once again, maybe you don't want a full meal, but come here and get a milkshake because they're absolutely delicious. So just across from the American Diner is Le Bistro. It is a classic Norwegian experience. It's been here from the very beginning of freestyle cruising. So you see we have this beautiful lounge area and some fantastic wines. If you're a wine and a high-end champagne lover, you may want to think about getting that premium plus beverage package because just in here, if you have a couple premium glasses of champagne or a couple bottles, you can pay for the entire thing. The space is classic and it's beautiful. You can really see that Norwegian, each one of the ships, they've stepped it up. The decor is out of this world. They have 2 top seats that are next to the window, so you may make sure you request one of those if you're traveling as a couple. But you've got 4s and 8s, and then you got the full bar over there as well with a premium coffee maker. So once again, you can purchase that, or if that's you have the plus package, you can utilize that as well. But beautiful, beautiful space. And for me personally, if I have not had my escargot, I have not yet been on the Norwegian Cruise. So now there's a space that I'm over the moon excited about, because a lot of times when they do something the first time, they do a good job with it, but when you can improve on it, it really, really makes it so much better. So on the Norwegian Joy, they debuted the Galaxy Pavilion, and on the Encore, they've expanded the space, they've made it a lot bigger. They've made some really, really cool rides, some totally different experiences. So join me as I head into the Galaxy Pavilion. Okay, so as we head into the space, you can see that it is much bigger, and there's some different things. So I absolutely love this. They've got this game where it's soccer with an automated goalie, which you would think would not be that hard to beat, but I haven't seen anybody get the ball past yet. I'm sure I will as we go, but they have all of these really cool VR, AR experiences here. So first one, you're gonna have the race cars. This is actually the very, 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 very back of the ship. You can see that the windows are covered up there, but these are the race cars where you're gonna put the goggles on. You're gonna get these little white slips that you'll put over your ears. That way you have separation between you and the person who used the goggles before. But basically you put those on and everything moves. The entire car moves, and so you feel like you're racing and you really get that extra dimension. You've got a ton of these virtual reality rides. So this is a classic one. You've got this Jurassic Safari, basically, with the dinosaurs chasing you as you go through, and the whole Jeep moves. Some similar rides over here as well, but different setups. And one thing that's really cool is they have these screens here, so when they're going, you can actually see what they're doing. They've got these fans, so you're getting the next dimension. You're getting all the senses being fulfilled, so you can really feel like you're part of the experience. So here you're gonna have a Formula One car. Super, super cool. You can do this with 2 people. A ton of fun to take and do with one of your kiddos. We've got some more over here. This is the paragliding. I love doing that on the Joy. You've got more over here where you kind of go into this cage, and as you move around, you kind of get that sensation of being there. Over here, you've got walk the plank. This is my favorite. So you're gonna put the goggles on, so you basically get totally desensitized. You just see what's in front of you, and you walk the plank and hope that you don't, well, fall off. So you can be in different places. It could be on an ocean, it could be on the top of a skyscraper, but it's really cool. They put you in the full harness, so when you fall, you feel like you're going. But yeah, well, anyway, a lot of fun. There's 2 other games here that I wanted to point out that are super cool. So you get these guns as you go in to play, but when you go in there, it's kind of like a maze. So when you have the goggles on, it totally desensitizes you. So you can see the goggles are here, and this is going to follow you around as you go. But basically, as you bump into things, it corresponds with what you're seeing on the screen and what you're feeling. So it really, once again, is kind of that 4th dimensional experience. All right, so a couple other ones. This is kind of like a helicopter gun game over here. You've got the other VR maze. So once again, there's tons of games that they can switch out for. It's not just one game that's on there. They can change that up. And then as you head back here, you have a brand new and unique experience on board the Encore that doesn't exist in the previous version. All right, so this is a super cool extrasensory ride. So right here, each seat has like this blaster that you can use. You can see that the seats are in 2s and they completely move. You've got the speakers behind you. And then right here, you have these huge fans in the front, these 4 different projectors. So you get this really cool shared experience where you feel like you're part of the game. Really, really awesome. All right, so now we're heading over past the Wall of Wonder. Pretty cool. It's kind of like an Xbox Connect. It reads the activity and it kind of moves. Whoa. Anyways, love to dance. So this is similar kind of to the space that they have on the Joy, but a much different concept, and I think a lot of fun just as much. Now we're gonna head into the Captain's Quest. So right when you get in here, what you need to know is that it's an escape room, essentially. When you first get in, you're gonna put on these VR goggles. Once again, they have the protectors on there for you. You put the VR goggles on, and it's gonna give you the backstory of the escape room. There are 2 escape rooms that are identical, do the same exact quest, and you can have 6 people in each. So basically a total of 12 people can go at the same time. So once you complete the instructions, you're gonna head on in with your friends, your family. Super cool, super interactive. So you're gonna get your quest. You're gonna have to use basically everything in here. It's an experience that lasts about 45 minutes, but you can get timed, of course. That's the whole purpose of the escape room, to see how quick you can get out of it. But it's just a lot of fun to do together. You see a little bit more over here as well. And once again, the digital technology on this cruise ship is fantastic. So it really makes all of these experiences just a little bit better than they were even before. But once again, this is the first true escape room concept on Norwegian Cruise Lines. I found the secret to the escape room. So 7 years of music lessons, thank you mom and dad, and I know exactly one song. Here we go. I escaped! Oh yeah, move those hips. Or replacement hips in my case. There we go. So this time I was smart enough to do the exterminator while we were in port, basically not at sea. Something you want to keep in mind is if you're cruising and we're at sea, you're going to get a little bit of the motion of the ocean along with all of these. So if you're prone to being seasick, something you want to keep in mind. The other question you might have is how do you pay for them? As of right now, they do not have an unlimited pass like they do on the Joy. What they do is you can buy a $20, $40, or $60 card where they get cheaper. And basically for the $60 card, you get 18 plays. So it gets down to just about $3 a pop. So not too bad. But once again, they don't have sessions anymore. It's just kind of open play always. The exception would be the Formula One car over there, which you would pay separately for, and the escape room. Escape room's $15 for up to 45 minutes. You can have up to 6 people in there. So once again, punch cards may be better to do it than paying all the cart, $8 a pop, but totally up to you. Right, so in deck 17, you're gonna have this enclave that's locked away from the rest of the ship. So if you have never had the Haven experience, you're gonna wanna watch this part of the tour as we come in and I show you what it's all about. But it's an incredible, suite-only, private experience that you can have on board this ship. We sell a ton of it, we know the ins and outs of it, and make sure that you have an amazing vacation. So if you're interested in booking one of the suites in here, let me know. But as you head inside the Haven, first thing you're gonna see is that the key card access is right here. So only those who are staying in a Haven suite, whether the suite's outside the Haven or in the Haven, can actually take advantage of it. So you have this really beautiful walkway entryway here. They've tried to really step it up inside here where they have the marble decor, the beautiful wood floors, and as you're gonna see as soon as we get in the lounge, the exquisite furniture. Say hi to the Haven staff. They are absolutely amazing. They're the ones that are gonna make your cruise an absolutely incredible experience. So right when you come in here, you can get help, of course, for anything that you need there. And then you have this beautiful seating area. So there's a couple different kinds of seats. You got some couches, some love seats and chairs as well. But it's really meant to be a very home-like, relaxing area where you can sit back, relax, and really take in the quiet and the serenity that is the Haven compared to the rest of the ship. So as we head over here, you will see that you've got the full bar. So this is, always the best bartenders on board the ship. Absolutely incredible. But you have the coffee machine here. One thing I did want to point out is if you have the Premium Plus beverage package, you can actually get coffee here. You can't at the Starbucks, but you can here. Full bar, of course, with incredible service. So we'll continue on through. You can see it's a pretty good size. Throughout my last Haven cruise, it was pretty open and empty and quiet throughout the entire time. So as we head back, one thing that I did want to point out is that right here you are going to have an elevator. So this is going to go between deck 17, 18, and 19, which is the entire Haven complex. So over to my side here, you're going to have courtyard rooms, and you're also going to have 2 bedrooms on both sides that are in the Haven complex. We use the key card at the very front to get in. So let's continue on through to the courtyard area. So this is another space that is super unique to the Haven. So it's a pool that only those who have key card access have access to. So keep in mind that the Haven is family friendly, and there's some places that kids can use and some that they can't. This is something that kids do have access to. You have the loungers in the pool there, which is really nice. Put your feet in the water. And as you continue back, you also have a full-size pool here as well. You have a shower over on the other side so that you can shower before and after you get in and out of the pool. They always ask that you do that as well. A beautiful, beautiful waterfall. And then, of course, you have the hot tub jacuzzi in the corner. Once again, you can see that there's a mix of seating. You've got this little kind of love seat area there. You've got some solos. And then you're also going to have couch seating as well. So once again, this is the private pool. So when you go out to the main pool, when we're doing our tour, make sure that you check out our full ship tour as well. When you're going up to the main pool, you're going to see there's a lot more people out there. In here, this is what the Haven is about. It's that sanctuary that you have away from everything else where you can just really relax and enjoy your vacation. So one thing to keep in mind, or for me to point out, is that not all of the Haven rooms are actually in the Haven complex themselves. There's just 3 types of rooms in here. So you're gonna have the owner suites, which are on deck 18 in the very front. You're gonna have the 2 bedrooms, and you're also gonna have the courtyard penthouses, which are kind of mixed throughout. But if you're staying in one of the rooms outside, you still have access to this area. So if you're staying in a Haven room, just to clarify, you'll of course have the butler, you'll have everything else. But let's say you're staying in one of the aft facing rooms. This is the very opposite side of the ship. So you would just come here to use all these things. So this is the space that really kind of redefined what a space can be on a cruise ship. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll point a few things out first, but it's absolutely breathtaking right now when I look out the front of the ship. So right here, you've got a setup. This is like an early afternoon setup. So you've got some candies, some canapes and cookies, snacks, some fresh fruit, water, of course. And then you also have this espresso maker. So this is the second place where you can get coffee in here. So keep in mind, if you don't have the Plus beverage package, this is complimentary and you can utilize it as you like. You can make cappuccinos, espressos, things along those lines. But you also are going to have your Nespresso maker in your room, so you have that as well to keep in mind. So now let me show you this entire space. I'm actually going to start heading over in the corner here, and then when we get out to the big part of the space, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So a couple improvements that I noticed is, once again, absolutely beautiful furniture. But they did put some USB plugs, so there's a couple that are right here. And then on the ceiling, they also have, it's meant to look like the starry sky. So once again, a really beautiful space. We are off on the port side wing, so the left side of the ship as we're looking forward here. Once again, it's meant to be very homey, like a house. So you have an eclectic mix of sofas and single chairs, and then of course these beautiful chaise loungers, and they have these all throughout the entire ship. So what really makes this ship, the space so incredible is this view. So right now I'm looking out at Norwegian's brand new cruise terminal. This ship will actually be based there when it opens up in just a couple months. But this in and of itself, with almost a 270-degree wraparound view, would be absolutely beautiful. But what sets this apart is that they opened up this entire area. So this is, keep in mind they're sacrificing rooms to do this. This is kind of where the owner's suites are on the Norwegian Escape. But you can see, look how huge and open this incredible space is, with this beautiful spiral staircase that goes up to the loft. I'll take you up there in just a minute. But I just wanted to walk you through. One thing that I noticed from the Joy and the Bliss is that this is kind of like a pleather. I noticed that the previous ones were all cloth, and so this is probably a little easier to keep up and keep clean. But to me, this exact view, this exact seat is kind of what makes the Haven really, really perfection. So I'm looking out at the front of the ship while we're cruising. Of course, you have all the top-notch service and everything that comes along with the Haven, but the space is really quite breathtaking. All right, so now we're heading up into the loft. The ship that I was just on most recently was the Joy. In fact, I'm going in a couple days, and this space was actually closed off because when it was in the Chinese market, it was a High Rollers Casino, and it's closed off with a wall here now currently. This to me is so much better than that, because not only do you get those incredible views here, but it's really light and bright and airy up here. Whereas on the Joy, it's kind of more of a very smaller, quieter space that's cut off from the rest. So once again, you kind of have that full lounge experience here as well. Once again, like a home, you have kind of eclectic mixed seating, big comfy couches, and then solo chairs with a coffee table as well. You're going to have a library in here and games, so you have this beautiful, beautiful, really high-end Monopoly game right here. Some beautiful blown glass over there, and then you can see it's the same as on the other side, but you've got a bit of a library here where you can sit and relax with a nice book, and you got kind of an eclectic mix here. And if you'll head back over, once again, more seating in the back, and even though you're all the way in the very back space, you got this big comfy couch, and right now I can see perfectly out the very front of the ship. All right, so now I am on the second level of the Haven, which is actually deck 18. You look out here, you get a really beautiful view of the whole courtyard there, and you can see you have rooms along the side there, and then rooms along the side of the bottom. So that's exactly the same on both sides. Up top here, you don't have rooms on this side because you have the Haven restaurant. So this is another lounge area here. It's a really beautiful place. You can sit and relax as you're waiting for dinner, but also just a place to grab a book and relax as well. So one of the absolute best perks of being in the Haven, and I know there's a lot of great ones, is the Haven restaurant. So it's a unique restaurant on board that only Haven guests can book. You actually book it when you get on board, and you can have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's in addition to everything else that you'll have access to. So as you would expect, they have a really, really amazing wine collection here. Got bottles on the side here. You've got bottles over here as well. And then as we enter the space, what you'll notice is it's super bright. So you've got an entire wall of windows there that opens up completely. So now we're going to head on back a little bit further. Once again, you have an eclectic mix. You got some booth seating. You have some full seating. You have some, 4 tops, 2 tops. So you have a nice eclectic mix. So maybe you're dining with some friends, family, or just 1 or 2 of you as well. This is where they're going to set up a breakfast buffet every single morning. So it's really, really nice place. That way you don't have to go all the way to the main buffet, but you can kind of grab and go as you like. But you also can order off the menu for, once again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So now we're heading outside to the outdoor dining area of the Haven. So once again, same exact menu. You can order a la carte as you like. And then over here for breakfast, they're going to have this set up as a little bit of a breakfast buffet. But once again, what made the Breakaway class ship so unique and incredible, in addition to the Haven, was the waterfront. So that's what I love about this, is it's kind of an extension of the waterfront as well, but it's private to Haven guests only. So head on over here, you can see you have some of the most beautiful views. And one thing that I love is that they've put in this glass spacing again, like they've done on the other ships as well. So you get a little bit of flow in here as well, just to have an incredible outdoor dining experience. All right, so now just heading out of the elevator to the 19th floor, which is the third level of the Haven complex. I did want to point out that there's 2 bathrooms that are right here. They're unisex that you can utilize, because that's just one of the things that you want to keep in mind if maybe you're not staying in one of the Haven staterooms themselves in the courtyard complex. That there are several throughout the area that are spread out for you. So as you get up top here, below me is the courtyard complex. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see a great view from here. And then you have these plush loungers that are set in like double, bed size, and then also solo ones as well, all the way along here. One thing that I did want to point out is that you have this retractable roof here, and also you have air conditioning. So I can feel the air conditioning as I'm walking along, and that's really nice because with all the glass, it can get a little bit warm in here. So they do have air conditioning. So once again, in addition to the loungers, they have a mix of chairs up here as well. So you've got some soft seats there, and then over here you have a couple different styles of seating as well, along with the beautiful art on the wall. So you'll notice that on every single deck chair, you're going to have the towel that's already ready for you, and this is one of the big fluffy ones, not necessarily ones that they're using at the main pool decks. Okay, so now we are out on the Haven Sun Deck. So this is a great space. One thing to mention is it is just for 16 and up. So once again, kiddos can be in the pool down there, but this is just for adults. So beautiful furniture. Once again, the ship is brand new, just came out a couple days ago, and it looks in spectacular shape here. So here you have these massive oversized loungers that are there with pillows. Up there you kind of have like little cabanas where same thing. Once again, you're going to have the towels at there. You're also going to have full service out here, so full bar service if you want something along those lines. Okay. Also, as you continue along, you're going to see this really, really beautiful hot tub. So I'm going to step up this way because I can. There we go. And you see that you've got this massive hot tub here. This ship right now is going to be in the tropics, and then in a year or so, it's actually going to go into Alaska. So when I was just on the Alaska with the Norwegian Joy, this space was absolutely perfect as we were going through the glaciers. So we were able to sit here, look out, and right now I've got an unbelievable view of all of Miami all the way around. You can see a crystal ship over there, the Norwegian Breakaway in the background as well, and then of course the brand new Norwegian terminal that's just getting ready to open up. We'll continue along here. Once again, you have these massive day beds that are out here. You've got a shower over to the side there with, once again, an absolutely huge rainforest shower head. So the last one, I think I said it was about the size of a tire, and I think I agree with that on this one too. So really nice rainforest shower head. You've got these great wind breaks up here, so you can see that there's slats in there. So what I feel is a nice breeze, but not a ton of wind that's blowing me away. So we'll continue along here, and you've got the front of the ship. So these are obviously going to be some coveted seats, but you have this beautiful view looking out the front of the ship with a nice little breeze blowing. You have the service of the Haven, so you're going to have the drink service and everything up here as well. So we're going to continue along the side. I've seen them put bar stools here as well, where you've got a nice little area to sit and have a drink, or maybe you can stand as well. But once again, the Haven Lounge is just below me, and you're looking straight out at the ship. It's the same exact view that the captain's going to have. So let's continue along here. So now we're kind of at the halfway point and heading over to the other side of the Haven Sun Deck. Once again, you have these 2 beautiful, massive day beds that are here looking out at the view. And as you follow me along here, what you're going to see is almost a clone of the other side, but a little bit smaller. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So right there, you're going to have the full shower that you have on the other side. And as we walk over here, you can see you've got the full extra hot tub as well. Once again, perfect spot for viewing the glaciers, but also a great place to hang out in the tropics as well. You've got the cabanas on the side, more day beds here that are really, really massive. And then they also have these loungers, kind of look like a bird cage a little bit, where you got a sitting and swinging lounger. So once again, one more kind of different type of furniture to make you feel like you're home and you have a place to relax. So right there is the door to the Vibe Beach Club, but once again, that is locked off, and this is just for the Haven. All right, so now I'm heading into the Mandara Spa. So the first thing that you're gonna see right when you walk in here is the reception area. So these ladies take care of all your appointments, answer any questions that you have. They do an absolutely awesome job. You'll also see this nice sitting area where you're gonna relax before your appointment, before you head back to the main part of the treatment. So as we turn this way, what you're going to find is this is the salon and barber shop. So if you're looking for something specifically for the guys, they basically know how to treat them incredibly well, and we love it. It's nice to get a really nice high-end shave. They've got basically everything that you would need to make a super comfortable massage, shave, kind of a whole man day in the spa. As we head out of there, we're going to head across the way to the beauty salon. So the first thing you see is where you can get haircuts. You can get all the hair treatments that you would possibly need. Maybe you just want regular maintenance. You want to have a totally redone, or you just want to get it done for a night out with one of the shows and dinner and things like that. Okay, so in addition to all the salon and barbershop treatments, you're also going to have manis and pedis. So this is the station where you're going to get a manicure. Once again, beautiful views looking out here. There's 4 spots right here for that. Okay, and as you continue along, you will find the place to get pedicures. So to me, this is the best place in the entire world to get a pedicure for a couple reasons. One, you're on the ocean, you're on the Norwegian Encore, which is a place I love dearly, but you have this amazing view right here. You got a huge massage chair, kind of just sit back, relax, take in the view, enjoy it, and really get into a vacation mindset. All right, so now we're headed into the main part of the spa area. So the first thing that we're going to encounter right here on the left is going to be the women's locker room. The next thing that you're going to find is the men's locker room. So I was just in there. Basically, you're going to have bathroom facilities, shower facilities, and lockers. Everything that you need to kind of get ready before or after the gym, as you would expect. So right when I head in on the right here, the first thing that I'm going to point out is one of the solo treatment rooms. So there's a couple dozen of these on the ship here, but you can see it's exactly what you would expect. You've got a nice bed for the massage. You've got a full shower here. You've got a nice robe behind the door there, so you can put that on. You also have it set up for a hot stone massage. So this is basically one of the places where they do any of the basic massage treatments, and there's quite a few on board as well. So as we head out of one of the treatment rooms, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into the relaxation room. The relaxation room right here, the whole idea behind it is to sit back and relax before or after your spa treatment. So they have this really great plush furniture, very comfortable, beautiful soothing screens that have different landscapes and seascapes on there, and then of course the beautiful view out. Also, you're going to have fresh fruit, some infused water, ice water, and hot teas. But basically, you can use this whether you have a thermal suite pass or if you're getting a massage, you can use it before or after. All right, so now we're heading into the main part of the spa area. So right on your right, you've got towels in there. Used towels go down below, but you can grab those nice, big, fluffy ones like you're going to find in the Haven. You also have this really, really beautiful therapy pool. It's got a couple different stations in here that you use. I like having the water turned up full blast, putting it on my back. It's really nice. And then, of course, you have the therapy hot tub here as well. So just over to my side, you're going to have kind of another station like you found in the relaxation room, where you've got the infused water, you've got fruits, and then of course teas, once again fluffy towels, and a ton of these seating areas. So throughout this entire space, there's all these super plush loungers, way nicer than you're going to find out by the pool. So if you happen to have one of the rooms that gives you access to this, so the spa balcony, spa mini suite, or the spa suite, this is fantastic. Or you can buy a pass for the week. So one of my favorite things on any cruise ships in the thermal suites are these stone loungers. So basically you just sit on it, relax, have some unbelievably beautiful views, but it's nice and heated, so it warms your back up. And once again, great place to sit and read as part of the thermal suite experience. So you have more of what we just saw here. You've got the stone loungers up front that go the entire length of the spa. You also have more of these plush loungers, but now you get into kind of more of the therapy stuff. So this is a really cool room. It is a snow paradise. So it's really, really, really chilly. It gets down to -10 degrees Celsius. So this is going to be the Arctic or the Scandinavian sauna to snow treatment. So you get out of a nice hot sauna and just head right in there. You can see my breath. You can also see that it's making this really beautiful fine snow. You just come in here for a few minutes and really just kind of cool off as kind of the exact opposite that you're using the sauna for. All right, so the next one that you're going to find is the salt bath. So I'm going to head in here. It's just basically the whole concept is to open up the body, allow the minerals in essentially, but nice place. This is very heated and basically, once again, just a nice place to sit and relax and kind of trade off with the different kinds of therapies, mix and match for whatever fits you personally. And then we have the steam bath. I'm not going to open it up here because basically it'll make the lens nice and steamy here, but you're looking at 110 to 120 degrees in there with nice moisture, so good for opening up the lungs and also just improving circulation. So we got 2 more. The first one is going to be the sauna. So this is a very standard large dry sauna. Here we go. All right, so open that up. So you can see it's a really big size, so quite a few people can actually be in here at one time. As you would expect, there's a nice shower right by the entrance because you're going to need to basically go in before and after is the optimal way to utilize the sauna. Okay? And then here you have the sanarium, which is basically a sauna but with a little bit of humidity. I'm not going to open it up because it'll get the humidity on the lens, but it's the exact same size as the sauna. And then once again, you have this great shower area right here to before and after your sauna. So as you come in here, what you're going to find is more of the treatment room. So a ton of rooms. It's a huge spa. I'm going to take you into this one in particular. Okay, so this is a couples treatment room. There's several different couples treatments that you could get, but you're going to have the two areas to get a massage here. You've got the full shower and this nice jacuzzi hot tub area as well. Okay, so just across from the Mandara Spa is going to be the Pulse Fitness Center. So if you'll follow me in, it's a really, really fantastic space that has a diverse set of options for you. So right when you walk in here, you've got this great screen. It's actually where you can sign up for, right now it's got Ab Blast up there, some of the different classes and courses that you might want to take while you're on your cruise. And as you can see here, it's set up and it has just about everything that you would need in a fitness center. So over here, you're going to have dumbbells. They go all the way up to 70 pounds, which is great. You don't find that on a lot of the cruise ships. So you're also going to have the kettle weights over there. You can weigh yourself. I'm not sure if you want to do that, but right here you've got other free weights, okay, more stations, and some more aerobic style weights as well. And then as you continue on in, I wanted to take you into this spin room. So right now the lights are off in here. But you can kind of see what it's all about. So there's a bunch of different spin cycles, and up on the wall you've got, they're all interactive, so up on the wall you've got these huge TVs where you're racing against other people. I find personally when I exercise, especially if you do a class, you kind of get more out of the performance because everybody else kind of brings you along as well. So in addition to this, you've got yoga mats over here where they can clear that out, and they have different weights and different things like that as well that you would use as long with shoes for the spin cycles. So as we continue on out here, you've got some medicine balls, balance balls down there, as well as all the foam rollers. I love the foam rollers. For me personally, it's one of the ways that I work on my hips and stretch different things out and kind of roll it over, especially for my back, but it really helps open up my back personally. So I love having those on board, and it's a pain to travel with them as well. So you're gonna have an assortment of different machines over here. You've got your Smith machine here. You can do all the squats that your heart desires. Rowing machine, another one that I use a lot per my doctor's orders. And then over here, you're gonna have the treadmill. So one thing I wanted to point out is when I step on the treadmill, it's higher than the other parts of the gym. I really appreciate that. I'm a big guy, and many of the treadmills, like Princess specifically, and some of the other ones you just cannot get on without hitting your head. So for me, I can use all the equipment in here, which is something that I appreciate. So we're going to continue on the long wall. This entire wall has treadmills on it, so it's really, I haven't had any problem trying to find the treadmills or have access to them because there's so many of them. Now you've stepping into the area, we've got the elliptical machines. There's also some bikes up there. You can see the different leg press, arm press machines, bench press machines as well. So continuing on, you've got more treadmills. Now you've got the seated bikes. And as we get to the very back here, I wanted to point out a couple things. So right here, you've got towels, and one little touch that I really appreciate, I think is really, really nice, is you can get a nice cold towel. So when you're working out, you can cool off. Really, really nice. And then over here, you've got 2 consultation rooms. So if you want to have a body consultation or you're meeting with a personal trainer, that's where you're going to start the meeting. And now we are in the TRX heaven, the TRX room. So you've got the medicine balls, the kettlebells, yoga mats, once again, more foam rollers, but you have all of the full TRX equipment here. So you've got these, and then of course, one everybody loves to watch. I always imagine all the big football guys. Well, not me, that's pretty sad and not impressive, but all right, well anyway, I'm leading a tour, so that's a whole different story. All right, so once again, you've got a rowing machine here as well too, and then you've got the huge screens up there where you can do the full competition. Once again, exercise is more fun when it's done with other people, and it's also more fun when you're competing against each other. So this is a really, really great gym. I was just recently on the Joy, and it's definitely bigger than this, just like the spa is considerably bigger as well. And I think the addition of this full TRX room is a really positive one. I'm sure we'll see it on future ships going forward. All right, so I'm here with Alexander, one of the awesome fitness trainers on board. And so I just wanted to point out a couple really quick things. So if you're somebody that loves the fitness classes, you want to sign up the first day. That's the best way to kind of get those. But also you can buy a fitness pass where you can pay $79 and get unlimited classes throughout, and you'll have your spots reserved. So that's something that could be a huge advantage. Also, you can meet with him and the other personal trainers to have, basically they call it synergy training. So essentially, energy, nutrition, fitness, like putting it all together and basically trying to make the most out of it. And they guarantee that if you do that, which sure, I'll do that completely on the cruise. They guarantee that if you do that, you're going to leave with incredible results. So the incredible results that I have may end up being more the Indian food of the buffet, but I'm going to do my best. So thank you so much.
As soon as you get off the ship, you're going to achieve your results.
Exactly. I love it. So thank you so much for your time.
Mate.
I appreciate it.
My
Have a good one.
pleasure.
All right, so now we're heading into the Entourage Teen Lounge. So this is the space that's specially reserved for 13 to 17-year-olds. So something that I really love is that they've taken it down and it's on deck 5. So all the kid zones are all on deck 5 in one place and kind of spread out away from everything. It makes really perfect fit. So we've got some incredible counselors in here that are going to take care of the kiddos throughout the entire trip and just show you around a little bit. So you've got an air hockey table. All the activities in here are complimentary. So basically they're going to be open all day at sea until 1 in the morning. And then when you're in port, basically 1 hour before the port departs, or the ship departs from the port, it's going to be open as well until 1 a.m. So a lot of time in here to hang out. Right here, you've just got a big, chill, nice, soft couch, big chill space with a TV on, so you can have sports games and things like that on here. Different types of seating and things as well. Over here, you've got all the video games, the big oversized bean bags. Okay, we've got FIFA on there, so kids absolutely love it. Perfect place to play. And then over here you have another space that's kind of multi-use where you can hang out and chill, but in the evening this turns into a dance floor. They've got the DJ. Once again, a great place for a dance party. All right, so let's head on over here. You've got foosball right here, more TVs, some more seating. There's actually a bathroom around the corner as well that's just for in here. A couple things that I did want to point out is, so kids that are in here, they all can check themselves in and out. That doesn't require that the parent do that. You do have to set it up one time at the very beginning of the cruise, but really this is kind of just that space to let the teenagers feel as much like young adults as they possibly can, away from everybody else, adult-free zone, and just a place to chill and hang out. All right, so the Entourage Teen Club is completely at the aft, and then the next space that you're going to see is the video arcade, which is pretty much meant for them, so it's perfect putting those spaces together. They can't come in from inside the teen club, but they can just come out and around in here. So follow me into the arcade. So basically, the arcade is exactly what you think it will be. It is a fun arcade. Keep in mind that it does take money you have to have money to use this, so you can set up your kids' cards however you want ahead of time, limit them, but just keep in mind that everything on here does charge. So over here, you've got, looks like some candy machines over there, some prize grab and go, that type of thing. And then for ticket, you can earn tickets over here as well. All right, you've got Guitar Hero. There we go. I see some fun Boss Baby stuff over there. So you got to have the classic claw games, the claw arms. This is one of the VR games. It's similar to what they're going to have in the Galaxy Pavilion as well. So Jurassic Escape, they had this on the Joy when we were on it very, very recently. More classic games, air hockey. This one's got a curve on it, so a little bit different than the normal. More games earned tickets, and then of course my favorite, the basketball game. Been playing it a lot. Not sure how people get these crazy high scores, but good for them, and you have to find a way to beat them later. All right, so a little more skee ball, racing games. So you've got basically racing, shooting game in the corner there. A couple motorcycle games, a couple car games, and then a little bit more of the virtual reality right here. Once again, got House of the Dead, so more shooting games. One fun thing, if you want a memento and you want one that's really cheap, that doesn't always happen on cruise ships, but this is kind of a fun place. You can make a penny. Basically, it just grinds it down. Charge you $1.10 for a smushed penny. You decide if it's worth it for you, but a fun little takeaway if you want it. So let's head out of the arcade. So past the arcade, so the arcade is just behind me, then you have the elevator bank, and then you have the teen club. So they've really separated out the kids clubs, but they've kept them all on deck 5. So we're gonna walk a little bit down to the Splash Academy. But one thing that I really love about this ship is the family ocean view staterooms and inside staterooms as well at the very front of the ship on deck 5. On this particular ship, the Encore and the Bliss, it's connected through all the way. So if you're staying in one of those family ocean views, it's got a bathtub, really nice advantage. You can just run the kids down to the kids club and it stays all on one floor. On the Joy, just the way it was built, it's separated out, so that's not the exact same. But once again, I'm seeing it on the Encore again. I absolutely love it. So you can see how far the separation is from the teen club down here. And so right now we're gonna head into the Splash Academy. That's gonna be for ages 3 all the way up to 12 years old. Okay? All right, so normally when you come in, right now it's on the inaugural, so things are a little bit different for showing it off, but normally when you come in, this is gonna be closed. At the very beginning of your cruise, you're gonna come down and you're gonna set up, basically sign your kid in for the first time and establish the parameters and make sure that you go through it all with the counselor. So after that, you can check them in and out as you like. It's open almost all day on the port days, usually till about 10 o'clock. After that, or sorry, on the sea days, so about 10 o'clock. After that, they do have babysitting for a fee, and then same thing for port days as well. They'll be open a little bit less on those days, but once again, until 10 o'clock, and then later on if you want to pay. So go ahead and follow me into the space. So you can see they have quite a few of the safety parameters in place, so they've got several different locked gates. Okay. Right here, you're gonna have the restrooms. So these bathrooms are built specifically for the kiddos in mind. My daughter loves having something that's her size so she can wash her hands. I really appreciate that, but something that you do need to know is that they will not change your kiddos. So the kids need to be 3 to come here. If they're not 100% potty trained, essentially they're gonna give you a little ship phone, and then if there's an accident, something that you need help with, they're gonna call you and you will come on down and take care of it. But if the kiddos can change it themselves, then it's not a problem. So right here you have just a little play area. You're gonna have a mix of free play throughout this entire cruise, as well as specific activities for specific age groups. And they'll always let you know what that is. So some fun tables there, and then some games on the wall for the littlest kiddos. So now you can see the massive space that is the Splash Academy. So over here to the side, the first one is gonna be for the smallest kiddos. That's 3 to 5 or so. That's gonna be the turtles. So that's where my daughter is right now. You will notice that there's doors here that can shut. So sometimes they'll have specific activities just for those kids. Sometimes it'll be more open play. And once again, they will let you know what that's all about and let you know when that happens. So this area here is kind of more the common area that's gonna be used throughout the cruise by all the kiddos when they have the open time. So let's head into the second set. So this is gonna be the kids that are 5 to 8, 5 to 9 years old or so. You can see that they've got some TVs and a little place to watch TV, watch some different movies. It's set up for soccer. And one thing that you'll notice is it has a different kind of floor than any of the other kids clubs I've seen anywhere. They said it's the first in their fleet, but it's a little bit softer, so it's not quite as hard as the kiddos. It's got a little bit of padding in there for them. But you can see that they have cubbies over here. They've got sinks for each of the different age groups. And in here, they're gonna do some open play, some video games and things like that, but they're also gonna do activities all the time. So you want your kids to have that extra level of stimulation, arts and crafts and fun different games, and they're all age appropriate depending on how old the kiddo is. So this whole area right here is kind of dividing out the younger kids from the older kids, and this is all one big common area. So when they're gonna have the open play, this is where they're gonna be. I love that they have these little basketball hoops all around. I always loved shooting one when I was a teacher. I had one in my classroom constantly and always had fun. But you can see that they've got these great chairs for the kiddos that are size appropriate. They've got all these little nooks, which is always fun. I know my daughter likes to hide out anytime that she possibly can. So once again, this is all the general area. Okay, so now we're in the space that's reserved for the oldest of the little kiddos, so the 10 to 12-year-olds. It's separated off. There's some glass doors over there, and they also do a lot of activities that completely remove this group from the rest of them, because it's that kind of age group where a lot of the older ones want to be in the teen club, but they're not quite old enough to be there yet. So what they do in here is they try to do fun, out-of-the-box games that are tied to game shows and kind of new age social media tie-ins, really anything to get the kids to engage, because as a middle school teacher, I know that that's always a tough group to engage. So they've got all the supplies back here. They've got big bean bags and art supplies. They'll play all kinds of different fun games. They've got the basketball hoops over here as well. Once they turn 13, they'll head into the Entourage Teen Lounge. There actually is a place that's for the smaller kiddos, the ones that are younger than 3 years old, called Guppies. I'm going to take you over there right now. All right, so Guppies and the River Rose Reading Room is for the smallest of kiddos on board the ship. It's a really awesome space. I love that the cruise lines have really started to cater to the youngest of cruisers. Before, it was just kind of 3 and up, and that was pretty much it. So when you come in, you can see that they have all these great books that you can sit, lots of nooks where you can sit and read with the kiddos. So over here, you're gonna have an area for movie time for them. Once again, beautiful decor on the walls. Lots of bean bags and fun places to sit. I took my daughter for her first cruise when she was just over 6 months old, and I wish we had something like this. We brought a lot of stuff with us because we were cruising out of LA where we live, but I really love that they have all this on board that they can play with and really enjoy at that age group. And also there's just a space that's good for them to walk around in. So you see they have the rounded edges and all of that. On a cruise with a parent, sometimes that can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So once again, this is another great space. It's the reading room spot. They have lots of books to choose from. It's all complimentary in here as well. And as we head back out towards the front of the ship, one thing that I wanted to point out that's really awesome is that we've now covered the entire deck 5. You've got rooms in front of us, but it's all connected basically together. On the Joy, it does not go all the way through. So now we're heading back to the forward of 5, and you've got the elevator bank just in front of me. Once again, we started at the very back at Entourage, and now we're finishing up here. All right, so now we're heading into the Observation Lounge. This massive space, I believe, is the most beautiful space on any cruise ship anywhere in the world. They introduced it in the form that it is now on the Bliss. They updated the Joy to look like it, but this is the space in my mind that they've absolutely perfected it. So this is a multi-use space for a couple things. So one, there's just a ton of seating, every kind of seating that you can possibly imagine. You've got couches and chairs and love seats and all kinds of things like that. But it also can be used for continental breakfast. So they've got the drink stations on both sides. They're gonna set this up each day for a light breakfast. So maybe you don't wanna go to the buffet and do all of that. It gives you that. It's also a great space that's kind of very similar to a library. So throughout the day, it's going to be really quiet and relaxing. When the ship goes to Alaska, to this space, you can absolutely imagine will be the ultimate space to view the glaciers. Just to show you how big it is, been walking for a minute or two now, and we haven't even gotten to the front of it. So we're still heading around, and you can see that they've divided the space up in different locations, just to really be like a home. That was kind of the whole idea. And then the decor, which I think is absolutely stunning on this entire ship. They've really made it kind of eclectic and fun and modern. They've got all kinds of different throw pillows and accents and all of that. But the design is absolutely spectacular on the ship. But like I said, this is the spot where it really shines beyond all of that. So now I'm heading out to the very front of the ship. And at the very front, what you have is 2 stories with a massive wall of windows. So right above us is the Garden Cafe, but just in front of us is this absolutely massive wall of windows. As you can see, you have these massive 2-story windows here, and it wraps around basically 270 degrees all the way around, and you just get unparalleled and amazing views. These seats at the very front, these chaise loungers and the seats with the ottomans put your feet on, to me it's the perfect place to come in the morning and have a nice coffee and grab a book and just really enjoy it. When it gets to Alaska too, this becomes an incredibly popular space to do all the viewing, but also each morning as you're sailing in or out of the port. As I head back here a little bit, you can see it is a multifunctional space, and right here is going to be the stage. So you've got your piano here, and then on the side, you've got more room over there where they're going to set up the rest of the band. And then just behind me, I'm kind of elevated right here, but just behind me and down is going to be the bar area, where in addition to having a full-size bar, they also have the espresso makers that, if you love that specialty coffee, this is a great place for that. Like I said, grab one of these seats in the front and just really enjoy these amazing views. So now we have progressed to that time in the tour where it's time to switch from that pina colada over to the Captain Morgan and Coke. Can I get a Captain and Coke, please? Awesome. Oh, beautiful. I love it. Thank you. Cheers. All right, let's do it. So now we're heading into the District Brew House. This has been a staple of the Breakaway Plus ships. It's a great space. If you love beer, you have a ton of beers to choose from on tap, a ton more that are on bottles. But basically, the whole concept of this is kind of an edgy, Americana biker meets every micro brewery with exposed beams and things like that. So you see this very eclectic furniture in here. You've got the piano, so they're going to have somebody playing every single night. I was super excited for this inaugural cruise because one of my all-time favorites, Jim Badger, is on board. I've been watching him for basically over 15 years. The first time was on Azamara, but really, really funny. In the evening, you do get a little bit of the adult content, so if that's something that bothers you, keep that in mind. But once again, you see a little more of the space. There's some bar games that you can get, but really what this space is all about is just a really, kick back and chill, biker bar where you can party and rock and roll and have a little bit of everything throughout the day, which is kind of the whole concept of the Norwegian Encore. You also have this really beautiful windows that stretch all the way around the side and then on the top here as well. So this is sticking out to where the waterfront is. So the waterfront's just in front of this, but it kind of sticks out and cantilevers just like it does on the opposite side for Food Republic. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to show you in here is, again, you can get a better idea of all the mixed different kinds of seating that you have, but you also have this photo booth. So fun thing to do with friends. $5, but once again, something you're interested in, hop in the photo booth, make some silly faces and some fun memories, and there you go. You can see up here on our inaugural cruise, these are all the ones that people have taken and they've shared, so just a lot of fun. All right, so now we're heading into Food Republic. This is an awesome concept. It's basically Asian fusion with some California fusion as well. So you get all kinds of Japanese, Chinese, a bunch of different options. So as soon as you get in here, it's a really beautiful space. It's light and airy. It's kind of cantilevered off the side of the ship like the oceanfront is. So you get this beautiful light space. So windows above you and windows to the side. Over here, you're going to have a mix of 2, 4, 6, 8 tops for the lower seats. You also have some high top seats as well here. And then you also have seats at the sushi bar. So basically there's a couple different stations, but you're going to have a mix of sushi. It's really, really good. I've loved it. You're also going to have the grill. Over here, they're going to have some walks going. And one really interesting thing is essentially what you're going to do is order on the iPad. So not turned on yet because it's not dinner time, but essentially when they're turned on, you order completely with the iPad and kind of removes the server from the equation essentially. You can use this with your package and basically you get 4 items, which I've found just about every time is plenty, or you can order a la carte as well. So you got more cooking stations here. This is going to be the sushi bar right there. And then back here is where they do dumplings and other things. But basically, you have an entire open kitchen concept, Asian, California fusion, really delicious, fresh, and lots of spice. All right, so now we're getting our first taste of the 6, 7, 8 complex on board the ship. So this is Cellar's Wine Bar. 6, 7, and 8 refers to the 6th, 7th, and 8th floor, which is basically where you're gonna find all of the indoor venues and the waterfront venues. So right now we're in Cellar's Wine Bar. It's set up for a wine tasting. You can see there's wine bottles all the way around. The ship has a massive wine collection. So if you are a vinophile, this might be a perfect cruise ship option for you. So brand new on the Norwegian Encore, a very first to see is Onda by Scarpetta. So as you walk in here, immediately you notice this absolutely beautiful, ultra modern decor. So you probably know the name Scarpetta from their land-based restaurants. They're absolutely award-winning, and they've decided to take it to sea. I am not at all disappointed because, to be honest with you, I felt like La Cucina was probably the one specialty restaurant on Norwegian that wasn't my favorite compared to the rest of them. This concept is amazing. So they make all the noodles from scratch every single day, and they hold it up to the standard of Scarpetta, and you get a really incredible Italian meal at sea. Once again, you have this open concept where you've got the kitchen open to the back. You can see that beautiful pizza oven back there. But pizza, pasta, Italian food elevated to the absolute next value. So Onda also has some really awesome waterfront dining. So you can see it goes all the way down here and all the way on the other side as well. Most of these are all 2 tops. You can put a 4 top out here as well. But this is the waterfront. It's an incredible concept that was created by Norwegian Cruise Lines first with the Breakaway. So this is essentially the 6th ship in the Breakaway Plus class. But what they did is they brought the dining experience inside and outside. And they've done that by adding these great outdoor areas. There's also these heaters up here as well, so when you're in Alaska, it's gonna work for you just like it will in the Caribbean where we are right now. Okay, so as we continue on the waterfront, you have several different types of restaurants and bars and venues. So this is gonna be the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. How's it going?
Hello.
There we go. I love it. So this bartender actually has the best view of any bar in the entire world, right?
I'm the chocolate cowboy.
There we go. And it changes every single day, and he takes really good care of us. So for me personally, I was a bartender for quite a few years, and mojito was kind of a dirty word because there's several steps to making one, and it's kind of a pain. But I love that they have a mojito bar because it's an absolute favorite. If you follow me inside, I'll show you what it looks like inside. All right, so now we're in the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. By the way, that's as good as you have to hide with my daughter to play hide and seek as a 3.5-year-old, but fair enough. Here we go. So we're in the Sugarcane Mojito Bar itself. What I love about it is this space has live music every night. There's quite a few venues on board that do have live music, but this is probably my favorite. Like I said before, as a bartender, I hated making mojitos, but because they have everything set up, ready to go, all pre-done, and they also have an extra bartender, mojitos are no problem. And if you love a mojito, this is the place to do it. And if you have that plus package, they have some really awesome top choice rums as well. I love the Flor de Cana. That's one of my favorites from Nicaragua. Fell in love with it when I was there a few years ago. But once again, Sugarcane Mojito Bar. Okay, so now I'm back on the waterfront and I'm heading aft. So all of this seating here is for the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. They've got the bar over there that we walked by, of course. And behind it is going to be retail inside. So there's ton more seating on here than I've seen on the other ships in the waterfront, and I loved it because now that we're in the tropics, people spend a ton more time outside. So in Alaska, what I found, and this ship will be in Alaska too, is that a lot of times people kind of gravitated one way or another, but now when you're in the tropics, everybody wants to be outside having a nice cocktail. All right, so one thing that you find in cruise ships in general is that smoking and where you can smoke cigarettes has been vastly limited. So one thing that Norwegian added for this ship is a smoking lounge. So just behind me, you can see kind of how big it is. It's not very wide, maybe about 5-6 feet wide inside. But if somebody wants to smoke cigarettes, they can do that there. And it's in an enclosed space with really good ventilation. All right, so as we continue back, I just wanted to show you these kind of wind breaks here. So they're really nice because they've got the glass with breaks in there, so it allows the wind to come through, but you're not gonna get these crazy gusts. So this ship is meant for cruising in warm weather and cold weather as well. So right now we're in the Caribbean, but after about a year or so, this ship is actually gonna go to Alaska. So what's nice is you have all of this great outdoor seating area as well that can be used for a cocktail in the sun, but also it's a great place to grab a blanket and cuddle up when you're in Alaska and have some really spectacular viewing. All right, so now we have gotten down to Cagney's. So that's gonna be the last restaurant on this side of the ship. Cagney's is an absolute Norwegian original. It's an old school classic steakhouse. It was the first meal that I had on board here. I really loved it. And you can see they got quite a bit of outdoor space that does have heaters. And then we're gonna head inside and I'll show you what the restaurant looks like inside as well. All right, so now I'm inside Cagney's. So once again, unapologetic steakhouse. Really, really good at what they do. Make sure you try the tiger shrimp. I had them yesterday. Really, really outstanding. But mixed seating goes all the way to the back. So you have 2, 4, 6, and 8 tops, all the way to the back with some incredible views. So if you can ask for the seats in the very back, you're gonna have some really special views. One thing that's a little bit different is they went all the way to the back, so there is no cut through over to the other restaurant like you're gonna find on some of the other breakaway class ships. Right here is also some overflow dining for Cagney's, so it made it just a little bit bigger. This spot right here, the A-list bar, I think is a really awesome one. So basically the idea before this is a classic cocktail bar that is before and after dinner for these two restaurants. So it actually extends all the way down the hallway there where you have different kinds of seating. But right here is the perfect place to belly up for the bar. It's what I did before I had dinner at Cagney's. Have a cocktail for a half hour, talk with friends, and then continue on. So now I'm gonna show you the second restaurant that's in the back here, and that's Los Lobos. So this is the Mexican restaurant. Nopales are really, really good. Elote is really, really good as well. Everything that I've had was excellent here. But the decor is very, traditional, very colorful. This idea of basically a Mexican cantina on a cruise ship. So they've tried to get more and more authentic as they've gone with this whole concept of Los Lobos. And this occupies a spot on the Joy where you're gonna have Le Bistro. So as you head back, it's exactly the same as Cagney's. You're gonna have those windows in the back, windows on the side too that you can request. And then I will take you out to the waterfront, which is great for this restaurant as well. I love eating al fresco. And so this restaurant, like all the ones on deck 8, have the ability to eat in the restaurant here with this beautiful decor or head outside. So that's how you get ahead in life right there. That's beautiful. Wow. Anyway, I'm blown away as I walk throughout the ship and see some of the things the first time, some second or third, but they've really done an amazing job with the decor on this cruise ship. To the very back of the ship is one of my all-time favorite places to be for rooms and also just to wander around and hang out. So right above me, actually, these are all the aft facing havens. They're all in the corner. Really fantastic option because you get the incredible wake behind me and it really just kind of shuts out the entire rest of the world. Over to my right here, you're gonna have the windows that look in on Los Lobos, and a little bit further on up there is Cagney's. But Norwegian added this really cool feature to the back of the ship here, where you actually have glass and you can look straight down, which is a little bit freaky to the kind of the duckbill on the bottom of the ship that sticks out. But for me personally, when we're cruising, these are the rooms that I love the most, and this is the spot that I love to be, and it's a perfect place to dine looking out the back. Okay, so I head back out to the waterfront. I can see those water slides. That is really crazy. You can also see how cool it is that they extended the racetrack off the side of the ship. That's perfect from here. And then we get to our next space already. So you see some dining areas here, and the dining areas are specifically for dolce gelato, which is a gelato option that you do pay more for. So looks like they've got some of my all-time favorite Italian favorites in there. So can I get a lemon sorbet? All right, awesome. So ready for, absolutely delicious. Ready for that. Thank you so much. And see? Amazing lemon flavor. Good pucker. All right, love it. Thank you so much. So now I just wanted to pop in here real quick because there's a second venue that's tied to that. Hey, I haven't seen you guys in a while. How are you doing? All right. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to show you that the bake shop is kind of attached to it, but the entrance is from the inside. They have these amazing looking cupcakes. Looks like they can make an espresso in here and amazing macaroons. So if you are ready for those baked treats, this is the spot to be. Once again, they do cost, there's an additional cost for that, so just something you want to keep in mind. So thank you so much, ladies. Bye. So we're going to continue on back on the waterfront. You'll see that there's a bunch more seating area. Once again, we're kind of to that point where we are at where the retail is inside the ship. So there's not any bars or restaurants right here per se, but they have a ton of seating. And then you're gonna have the servers that are servicing these seats from the restaurant and the bars in the front and the back. So this ship is incredible. The Breakaway came out basically 6 ships ago, really recreated everything about Norwegian, ways that you look at a cruise ship with the waterfront and some of the other innovative topics. But this ship is the last one. It's the biggest one, and it will probably be the biggest ship in the fleet for a very, very long time because Norwegian has announced that they're actually going to be going with smaller ships. That's going to be Project Leonardo going forward, and those are going to be about 130,000 gross tons compared to these ships, which are 170,000 gross tons. So I'm sure they're going to do amazing things with it, but it's going to be, this ship really does signify the end of an era. So as we walk along the waterfront, now we've gotten to the next dining venue, and this is Ocean Blue. This is a classic seafood venue. If you have the dining package, you do have to pay the $10 upcharge for it, but it's really, really good. And you can also, of course, shop a la carte. So this is the outdoor area, the waterfront area. There are heaters. Let me take you inside and show you what this restaurant is all about on the indoors. As you can see, the interior decor of Ocean Blue is absolutely beautiful, just like the outside. They have these large booths where you can get up to 8 people in, and then they've got a mix of 4 tops, 6 tops, and even bigger seating over in the corner if you have a large party. But once again, you're on the ocean. To me, having a nice, incredible seafood meal with the ocean outside is the perfect option for any cruise ship. Once again, this is included in the dining package. You just have to pay a little bit more for it, but you won't regret it. You'll absolutely love it. So now we're in the photo gallery. Like you expect on most cruise ships, they're going to have people taking pictures throughout the different meals when you're getting on and off the ship, and then throughout the ship in general. What's different is that the technology has really evolved. So basically you use your key card. You're going to take your key, go, just tap it right here, and it's going to pull up any of the photos that you've taken. From there, then you can go to the bookcase, you can get the ones that you want, you can purchase it. They also have several different ways that you can turn it into different kinds of art and things like that. They also have photography sessions, so if that's something you're interested in. I had a client recently who was celebrating a big birthday, and they did an outdoor photography session for her. But just something that you want to keep in mind is possible. The other great thing about the photo gallery is that because it's duty free, they have some great prices on cameras, binoculars, batteries, and different things that you might need. So if you have an issue with your camera or you need something, it's very possible they'll be able to solve your problems here. So make sure that you check that out. All right, so throughout your cruise, in addition to all the retail, they're going to set up these pop-up shops throughout. So you can see this here, and then you'll also see it throughout the cruise, but sometimes they'll have different sales. Pay attention to that if that's something that you're interested in. But it has a pretty eclectic mix of retail right here in the middle. You've got all the logo items for Norwegian Encore, the big coffee mugs, and things along those lines, some models that are super, super cool. And then as you head back, you're going to get some of the higher end retail, the jewelry shop, the Bulgari shop as well. So there's tons of options, whatever you're looking for on board. Whether you just need a razor because you forgot it at home, or you want that brand new Bulgari watch, you decide, and enjoy whichever way you go. So now we're back on the ocean front here, and what I can see in front of me is actually Norwegian's private island. It's great stirrup key. It's a lot of fun. So I can see the giant lighthouse that has a zip line that goes all the way across it. But basically, it's what you would expect out of a cruise line private island experience. But what they have done recently is they've really raised the level of what they offer. They've added these new air-conditioned cabanas that are as good as anything I've seen in the entire industry. They also have spa treatments there available and some great food options as well. So a phenomenal private island experience on your cruise where you can utilize all the fun from the ship on board as well. Okay, so just next to the humidor, just inside is malting. So this has moved spots. Previously it was down on deck 6, but it's moved up here to between the humidor and to the Cavern Club. So if you come on in here, it's a whiskey bar. It's unapologetic about the idea that it is a whiskey bar. They have the largest selection of whiskeys in the ship. The bartenders are always really, really fantastic. They know what they're doing. But once again, just a great bar option. Great place to utilize your beverage package, or if you have that Premium Plus, get some of those higher end whiskeys if that's something you're interested in. All right, so the next venue is the Cavern Club. But before we get there, we have the outdoor bar for the Cavern. And I absolutely love it. I love these outdoor spaces on board the ship. On both sides, you got the sugarcane mojito bar on the other. But the bartenders here are always a ton of fun. It's a great place to gather outside. So a lot of people like to stand because you get this incredible view of the ocean. You get the wind in your hair. And to me, that's the ultimate place to enjoy a drink. They also have TVs up there so you can have the sporting events played out here as well. So now we're going to head into the Cavern Club. So this venue, to me, is where you're going to have the most fun every single night. So they'll do the Beatles shows throughout, kind of space it out to where they'll have the early, the mid, and kind of the late hits, because, of course, it was the Beatles, and as you can see, they made an unbelievable amount of hits. Yesterday, all my... Well, you don't want to hear that anyways. That's way too much. But this place will be absolutely rocking out in just a few hours, and it does every single night. You're going to want to queue up early. So usually you have to get in line at least a half hour ahead of time. But for me, this is absolutely worth it. And so I highly recommend that you see it at least once, if not multiple times, throughout your time on board the Encore. So now we're back out on the waterfront. You can see what an incredible complex it is. So for me personally, I fell in love with Norwegian again when they came out with the Breakaway. So I was able to go on the Getaway, didn't actually get on the Breakaway, but was able to get on the Getaway. And what I saw is that they've taken this freestyle cruising context to basically a level that you only could on a massive ship. So there's a ton of things for everybody to do, ton of space for all the restaurants, some of the biggest suites at sea, but really giving everybody the ability to mix and match and do it how they personally want to do it. There's some absolutely incredible entertainment on board this ship. You can pre-book some of it, but essentially that'll fill up, and then they'll open up more the day that you board. The box office right here is where you're going to want to go right when you get on board. You can also use the kiosks, which I'll show you later in the video, to select your tickets. But basically, if you need human support, you're going to go straight there. There will be a line, especially if you get there later than midday. So now we are inside the Encore Theater. Norwegian really changed how theater was approached on a cruise ship, along with Royal Caribbean, by bringing massive Broadway shows to the stage on the ship, and almost in their original format. Last night, I was blown away by the Choir of Man. It was probably the best show that I've ever seen on a cruise ship that really should be on a cruise ship. It was super interactive. There were people on the stage drinking, with the cast, singing songs that everybody knew, and like I said, everybody was up on their feet, dancing and having an amazing time. Tonight, we're gonna have Kinky Boots. I've seen that before. It's same thing with that show. It's just an incredible, fun, good time. So to me, that just shows you the amazing value that you get on your cruise by getting two incredible Broadway-style shows. Also throughout the cruise, they're going to have Prohibition the musical, but totally a different concept completely. The top rows up here are reserved for handicap accessible, so if you need that, you can do a wheelchair just over here or over there. And then as you head on down, what you'll see that they did a great job with the stadium seating, so it's pretty significant decline going down, so almost everybody can have a really good seat in this beautiful theater to see some of the best production shows on the ocean. All right, so at the very center of the 6, 7, and 8 complex, we're on deck 7 right now, is the local. So right over to the side here is the atrium that opens up to below. And so you have all these great seats on the outside here that are looking down with all the activities going on. So what is the local? The local is basically your neighborhood diner, pub. It's going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's open 24 hours. The other evening I had pretzel bites at 1 in the morning, and maybe I've been known to have some chicken wings at 1 in the morning before. And then in breakfast had corned beef and hash along with some eggs. So it's a diverse menu. I think they've really elevated all the food on board the entire ship. But I love having something that's open 24 hours a day where I can sit down. So here, as we move through, I'm going to wrap you around. So this is all part of the local as well. So this is kind of the bar area as part of the local experience. And we're going to wrap all the way around. You see there's eclectic mix of seating. So on the other side, you had mostly booths, low tops. Here, it's more kind of bar seating. So you're going to have all the high tops. So you can have 2, 4, 6 people. But it's the perfect time to meet up with friends because you know that it's always open. So as we head towards the back, I'm going to point out right here, you can see, get a good angle of the other half of the local, and down below you get another really great view of this area that's open. Last night they had live music going on, they had a game show going on down there, lots of different things, but so when you're up here you kind of can participate in it, but without being in the middle of it, and then of course you can get some great food. Okay, so here is the adult arcade. There's definitely the teen geared arcade down below, but I know myself personally, I've had a lot of fun in here playing some, doing some bowling, but also playing some basketball. So let's see if I've got any touch. What do you think? I don't know. To clarify, normally this would cost. We're on an inaugural right now, so they're all included, but something that you want to keep in mind. So, whoa, started that. So like any basketball game, you got to keep in mind that the last few seconds matter the most. So the ones that you make at the end are worth a lot more than the ones that you make early on. So looks like this time I did not quite beat Taylor's score of 416, but I'm going to very shortly. Having an absolute blast in here, head back in and have the rest of my wings. Okay, so now we're heading into the casino. One of the things that I really appreciate so much that Norwegian did is previously you could smell the smoke the moment that you stepped over this threshold because people could smoke in the casino. They've changed that, and let me show you where in just a minute. But before we do, I wanted you to turn around real quick and take in the view of another stunning Norwegian chandelier. So this one has incredible LED lights inside. You can see that it changes colors. In fact, right now it's going to a more blue. I think it's absolutely at its most beautiful when it's in the pink and red. But essentially, this is the central atrium. This is the heart and soul of the 6, 7, 8 complex. You can see where everybody can come together. Right now we're in the casino, and we will be for most of this floor. But you've got the dining above. You've got all the venues below as well. And this is kind of the beating heart of it all. All right, so now we're gonna head through the casino. You can see here that they've got, it's actually one of the biggest casinos at sea. They've got a nice mix of 3-card poker, blackjack. You've got all the games you like. I really like Ultimate Hold'em. They've got that as well. They're also, of course, gonna have roulette and a wide assortment of games. In fact, I read somewhere that it's one of the biggest casinos ever built on an ocean cruise, and you can see why. Right here, you're gonna have the whole area where you are allowed to smoke inside. They've got the table games as well as the slots. And then over here, what you're gonna see is the Skyline Bar. So, great bar. You can see they have these huge screens that show the games. Recently, they've been doing a lot more with the NFL, as well as NC2A football as well. But right now, none of that's on. You can see you got the huge screens here where you can watch a game, and at the bar, you also can play some of the games. So right now, you've got poker on there, but you've got basically you can pick between Keno and all those other things. One more thing that I wanted to point out that Norwegian has installed and not everybody has is you see over there they have some cookies and tapas and canapes and things like that, as well as coffee and then soda and drinks and everything that they have. But for me, that's great that they brought that into the casino because previously, anytime you wanted to have a snack or leave, maybe you're playing in a poker tournament or something, you'd have to go somewhere else to do that. As you can see on the entire ship, Norwegian has gone out of their way to do the absolute best with decor. They've put marble everywhere, they've put art everywhere, and they've really just taken some of the spaces that have been really nice on their other ships and they've made them absolute design perfection. So another one of those spaces would be the Manhattan Room. So right now I'm heading into the Manhattan Room. This is the first of the complimentary restaurants that you're going to see on this tour as far as the main 3. So right here, what I notice immediately is that the space is absolutely massive. They've made it a bit bigger than it even was on the previous ships, and as soon as you get into the middle part, you'll see what I'm talking about. So in addition to having all the seating on the side, you're going to have massive tables that can have up to 10 or 12 passengers. You have some booths, you have chairs, 2 tops, 4 tops, and things like that. But right here, look at this space. It's incredibly elegant. You've got Cagney's up above there. You've got Los Lobos over there. But you have this massive 2-story space. These spaces like this don't happen that often on cruise ships because it takes, basically you're losing out on space that you could monetize otherwise. So they have really, really focused on the decor. Beautiful chandelier up top. Once again, make sure that you ask for the seating in the very, very back so you can have those views. And then there is a stage at the back as well where they're going to have live music. But to me, this is meant to be a classic Manhattan ballroom, essentially, that goes back to just the classic old school cruising and old school dining. And I think they've really hit it out of the park with this venue. All right, so now I am at Mix, which is the perfect place to go before or after dinner, whether you're going to one of the complimentary restaurants, Taste or Savor. So there we go, Captain Morgan & Co. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Time for a pre-dinner cocktail, or at least that's what I'm gonna, pretending why I'm having the cocktail right now. But what I wanted to point out is that this is a great bar area, but you have these 2 complimentary restaurants. I'm not gonna lie, for me, I love the specialty restaurant. That's usually what it's all about for me. I also really enjoy the buffet. We have not dined here as much, especially since we started having, since we had a kiddo, because it's a totally different experience. But on all of the days that I've dined here on this cruise and the last couple, I've been blown away. The quality has been really good from start to finish. As you can see, you have really, really beautiful decor. And it's really just a fantastic spot to dine. So there's 3 main complimentary restaurants. We already saw the Manhattan Room. This is Taste, and then Savor is over on the other side, the exact same thing. But you're gonna have a rotating menu throughout the day. You have this great mix of seating, so you've got these different booths here, 4 tops, 8 tops, and really beautiful seating by the ocean. So make sure that you request a window seat if possible, and they will accommodate you whenever they possibly can. Keep in mind that you can make reservations for these, and we highly recommend that you do. As soon as you know the time that you want to dine here, it's always a great idea when you're on board to just make a reservation so that you don't miss it. What this shows you is that you can dine breakfast, lunch, and dinner and not pay anything extras. Yes, especially dining restaurants are awesome, but they're not necessarily have an incredible meal and an incredible cruise on board Norwegian, especially on the Encore. So you have the Mix bar right in the middle, so across from Taste is Savor. They're identical, basically the exact same thing, and also a complimentary venue. So now we're gonna head towards the atrium. The first thing that I wanted to point out was the collection. So this is an art gallery area. It's really a walkway, but it just gives you a preview into some of the art that they have for sale on board. I have a lot of clients that do love to come on board and do the art auctions and purchase. It is duty free, so sometimes there's a savings, but I'll leave that up to you. You also see that they furthered some of their relationships, like with Peter Max and others that have been a staple on Norwegian ships for years and years. So if you're interested in it, the art gallery basically has a little sales office right here where they're happy to set appointments and deal with you on all kinds of art purchases. So So just past the art gallery sales office is Teppanyaki. This is another one of the all-time Norwegian classics, and it's one that I really love. So you set that down there for a minute. So as you come in here, you're gonna see that this entire space is dedicated to the hibachi style dining. This is so much fun to do. My daughter's 3.5, 4 years old, and in reality, this is the only specialty dining that we really do as a family that she really enjoys, because who does not like fried rice at the end of the day? And of course, they have steak and fish and lobster and all that kind of stuff. That's really amazing. So once again, this is a really interactive experience. It's great. Beyond that, it also extends over to the side here. So you have a really, really big space because this is one of the most popular restaurants on board. If you know that you want this at a certain time and date, make sure that you pre-reserve it as soon as it comes out, 120 days. If you're flexible, you usually can get in here, but once again, this is one of those spots because there's relatively finite space and they need the chef to do the demonstration and be part of the experience. There's just not as much opportunity to get in there as some of the other specialty dining experiences. So if you have a sweet tooth, in addition to the Dolce Gelato, you have Coco's. Coco's is the sugar lover's dream come true. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah.
I love it. Okay, so you have some pre-made different things in here, but also you have a whole bunch of ice cream and gelato options. You can see they have these cups that are ready to make these unbelievable milkshakes and sundaes. In fact, I had a sundae here the other day that was about that big. You can also get your espresso in here if you like. Something to keep in mind if you do have that plus beverage package, or you would pay otherwise. And then here they're making really, really unbelievably delicious crepes. So don't think you can go wrong. If you love sugar, you will be in heaven. So to continue on the Willy Wonka style devotion to everything sweet and sugary, this is a chocolate waterfall. It's not quite on yet. It will be very shortly. Of course, Kelly Clarkson's got to give it the flip. She's or flip the switch. She is the godmother, and she'll be on the ship in a few days. So the next venue that I wanted to show to you is the Social Comedy and Nightclub. So this is a multi-purpose venue. Got on the top, dance, laugh, be social. That's really what it's all about. So the first thing that I noticed in this space is that it's bigger, there's more furniture, and really, really beautiful decor. So you've got your full bar here. You can imagine that this spot right here is used for comedians, so that it'll be set up kind of theater style like this. It's also set up as a nightclub, so at night you've got this beautiful marble dance floor that we'll be playing. The other night when I was in here, they were actually doing a silent disco as well, so everybody's listening to the headphones and rocking out, but there's no noise. It's kind of creepy and trippy if you're not one listening, but on the other side it makes perfect sense. So just a fun thing that I hadn't done too many times before. And then I'm going to go around to the side, because what's really interesting about the venue is right here would be the DJ booth, so that'll open up for night. But over here they've added these two side wing venues. So something that I really like is that it just gives you more space in a nightclub environment, but also if the whole purpose is to be social, it gives you the ability to spread out and be social, hang out with friends, and explore. So this is the red room over here. And then as we continue on through, once again, you see the full stage here. The entire back is a LED screen, so that's really cool. And then over on the other side here, you're gonna have a separate pop-out room like you did on the other side, but this one is the green room. My doggy for the last 14 years is a Weimaraner, so I love the work of William Wegman. Enjoy that, but really, the decor is next level beautiful that you didn't find on cruise ships just a couple years ago. They've really hit it out of the park once again. It's so beautiful. All right, so right now I am in the atrium, and it's such a beautiful space. You have marble all around, and you look up and you have this absolutely incredible chandelier. So they've done this with each of the ships like this, but to me this is the absolute most beautiful. You have these incredible LED lights inside where it's constantly changing colors, but once again, just a really, really beautiful space with the glass staircase and the super elegant chandelier. So now I'm gonna continue on and head towards the main atrium of the ship. So the main atrium of the ship is kind of the, you can think of it as the logistics center. It's where you're gonna get just about everything that you would possibly need. So one of the first things that I'm gonna point out is the shore excursion and the show reservation. So you have these kiosks throughout the ship. There's something that you definitely wanna utilize. So you're gonna need your card, and put your card there. And it's going to open up all the different reservations that you can make. So keep in mind, this is an inaugural. They pre-reserve everything for us, so we don't have the choices, but this will show you what I'm talking about. So for dining, you can pick savor, taste. You can also pick from the specialty dining. So any of the ones where you can make reservations, so American Diner, Cagney's, Food Republic, Le Bistro, Los Lobos, Ocean Blue, Onda, and Q. So all of them are here. So normally you would see yellow and green open at 6:30. So you just come on, you hit reserve, you're going to confirm your details. It's really, really simple, but you can do that the moment that you step foot on the ship. So That's in addition to the ones that open up at 120 days out. So there's dining, you've got entertainment over here. So tonight is Kinky Boots, and then Levity Comedy is the comedy show. That's a late night one, so keep in mind that if you're doing the 18 plus, there might be some language in there. This is also where we reserved Fire of Man as well. So go back. Onboard attractions as well. Sometimes people say, I really want to do this the Speedway the moment that I get on the ship. The moment that you get on the ship, go check out the first reservations. Basically just hit the reservation, you'll pick when, confirm your room, and you're good to go. Also the same with laser tag as well. This also can work as a, what's going on. I personally would recommend that you use the app because the app has all the information on there. Download it before you get on the cruise. You just sync it with your reservation. Super easy to do. Use your last name, date of birth. But you can get a lot of this information that's going to tell you that when the photo booth is open, that they're having a game show in the atrium, all of those details. But once again, you can get that here. And finally, you can click Map It for anything. So if you don't know how to get where you're going, you hit Map It, and it's going to tell you where you are and which direction that you need to go. So these wayfinders are throughout the ship. Once again, when you get on board the ship, go straight to the box office if you need that, but this is going to have access to all of that as well. And a lot of times by the time you finish waiting in line for the box office, you could have already reserved your seats here. And so sometimes people that do this get priority access. All right, so in the main atrium, you have a really cool anchor store that everybody loves, and that is, of course, the American Embassy, also known as Starbucks. So if you head on in here, one thing that I did want to point out is that it does cost extra, and it is not included in the premium beverage package or the premium plus beverage package. But that said, when you walk in here, the immediate vibe, the feel that you get is that you're in a Starbucks on land. It's a really beautiful space. Once again, the decor continues from throughout the ship, but you can order from the full menu of frappuccinos and espressos and all the teas. And then of course you can get the muffins and my absolute favorite, the lemon pound cake. But once again, it's always going to be an additional cost. But if this is how you start your day at home, it's an awesome day to start your way on vacation as well. So as we're heading out, one final thing, I just want to let you know that this is basically a corporate owned store, which is why you can't use those things, but you can use your gift cards. You can also earn the stars as well. So if that's something you're interested in, it's kind of like shopping at home. So right when we head out, the first thing here is Cruise Next. So basically this is where you can reserve your next Norwegian cruise. You can either pick a cruise or you can also just pick the certificates, and then you're going to get a further discount on a cruise coming up. But once again, we'll handle all of that for you as your travel agent, and we'll explain all the details. So make sure that we talk about that before you head out on your cruise. So this is the lobby area, waiting area for the main desk. And then over here, you're going to find guest services, or sometimes it's referred to as the purser's desk. So they're going to answer all of the questions that you have, lost and found, money related, all those kind of things are going to go here. And then over there, you have onboard credit. So a lot of times when you work with your travel agent like us, we're going to give you an onboard credit that you can utilize on the cruise. If you have any questions about that, you don't quite know, they can talk to you about that there. Just keep in mind the very first day and the very last day, there's going to be crazy lines here. And that's pretty much the case for all of the big cruise ships. So just keep that in mind that, maybe if you do it from the second to last day or the third to last day, you'll be at an advantage. So our final specialty restaurant is kind of the way to my heart, and that is Texas barbecue. So the restaurant is called Q. It was initially debuted on the Norwegian Bliss, and Norwegian was the first cruise line to bring an actual real Texas-style smoker on board to this restaurant to make incredible Texas-style barbecue. So as you can see that it has an eclectic mix of seating. You've got these high tops over here, you've got booths and more tables up front. But something you want to keep in mind is throughout the day, in the evening, this is a specialty restaurant where you're going to have all the Texas barbecue that you can imagine. The brisket is really good. I'm a big fan of the ribs personally. All the sides are fantastic as well. But in addition to that, they're going to have live country music here every single night. So maybe you don't want to eat in here every single night, or you don't want to eat here at all. You can come in starting at 9 o'clock, and they've got the full bar set up over here, and they've got the stage with a really good country music band every single night. So when I've come in here each night of my cruise, there's been a lot of people out here that are having a good time, that are sitting back relaxing, and just basically taking in the country music, and that's what this restaurant and bar are all about. So just outside of Q is going to be a couple other spaces. So you've got the card room and library in here. So not a huge library, but perfectly sufficient for this ship. Over on the side here, you're going to have meeting rooms. So right now, this is all set up for the inaugural. You've got all kinds of staff and everybody in there right now. But you can also use that to reserve if you're having a big, large meeting or a family group or incentive trip, something along those lines. All right, so over to my left, you're going to have the Perspectives Photography Studio. So if you want to have a session that's just for you or for your family, this is where you're going to go. And they've got it set up like a full photography studio, and they've got some great photographers on board. So we continue on, we head back into the atrium. So this is the main atrium lounge area. So it's open up to the top there. That's the local where we were just a few minutes ago. You can see this massive screen that once again, if you hashtag Norwegian Encore, you'll be up there. And so I've seen my pictures kind of rotate throughout the week. It's really fun. But this is kind of a meeting place, an interactive place, but there's almost always something going on here, either live music or you're gonna have a game show, some kind of party, dance party. It's a really fun place to be. And by having it open up, everybody kind of has their own tie into the experience, and you can be involved in it as much as you want or as little as you want. As we continue further back into the atrium, up here to my left, you're gonna find the Internet Cafe. So it's gonna be right over here. So the first day, if you're having any issues connecting to the internet, this is where you're gonna go. But one thing I wanted to point out is almost all the packages, most of my clients get 250 minutes of free internet, which doesn't go that far, and most of them actually really want the unlimited, and specifically the unlimited streaming. Before you go on your cruise, make sure that you log into your Norwegian account, and on there, you can upgrade it for a discounted price, so you can upgrade it to unlimited streaming, just something that you may want to do, because once again, those 250 minutes can go really quick. So these are the people that are going to be able to help you if you need it, and then you also have a few of these little booths with computers if you need to utilize that as well. You'll use the same login for both. You just have to log out to log into another device. Finally, we're going to head over here to the atrium bar. So this is going to be our last stop, and I figured, well, you know, after dinner cocktail, into the day, it's time to get one final Captain Morgan. That's perfect. Thank you. Squeeze the lime in there just a little bit. And I think that maybe for this one, might just have an encore as well. We'll see. Coach did not get it wrong. Captain Morgan is a lot of fun. He knows what he's talking about. Thank you so much for joining me today on this video tour of the beautiful Norwegian Encore. If you made it all the way through, well, first off, congratulations, but please make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe to our channel, and that you hit the notification button so that you can learn about all the upcoming content that we have coming out. So specifically, we are Haven specialists. We know the ins and outs of the entire Haven experience, the butlers, the Haven line ahead of time, so we can get the exact experience that you want out of your vacation. So when you're ready to book a Haven, reach out to Harr Travel, and we will make sure that you get the absolute most value out of your Haven experience. And whatever you're doing on the Encore, wherever you're staying on the Encore, enjoy it. She's an absolutely beautiful ship. We have enjoyed being on her, and I can't wait to cruise with her again with my family coming up in just a few months.